Haha, hello everyone. Sorry, I didn't do any countdown, but we're a bit late. We were having trouble with the video for one of our player. So as you can see, you're gonna see a big S for this player because I really didn't prepare any picture. It was really last second. And we might lose him at any moment because he's using a phone to broadcast the sound, and it's not a complete charge. So we'll see. So welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. And if you're wondering what this is, well, this is a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if this is not your thing, well, I hope you have your favorite snack to soften the blow because we're not changing our schedule, so you'll have to endure. For those of you who might be returning for a previous stream, welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you with us again. For those who might be new, welcome among us. Welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And for those who are just interested in looking at people do stuff because they're really bored right now, well, we're going to play Dungeons and Dragons in a homebrewed universe and campaign setting. So there might be a few differences from what you're used to seeing and hearing. And I believe this is everything that you need to know to start this. So, what happened during the last episode? Well, last episode, the party slowly recovered from a brutal fight against followers of, actually one follower of the hunter god, and they finally got to meet an elemental friend which they had been carrying in their backpack for, well, in their world, over a month, and in actual playing time over 3 months. They finally met, finally learned a bit more about each other, and also learned a little bit more about what could be an origin for this hunter god cult. After that, and after cremating the remains, or well, actually very thoroughly barbecuing the remains of those they killed during the fight the stream before, they all decided to keep on going and to reach their destination where they had been sent to hunt, skin, and find a way to bring back what they skinned to the garden, this creature being a humber elk. They made their way to the small village where they were supposed to hunt it. They managed to find a way inside of the mountain, which is a mine, a dwarven mine. So large, well-made, well-decorated, suited for everyday life, at least for a dwarf. They made their way inside. They found where the nerve center of this mine was, and they volunteered to settle the problem in the shaft where dwarves have been dying. And this, in a nutshell, is what happened last episode. We ended as Fisher proudly announced that they were here to settle the problem. And this is where we are. So, Fisher, Anvara, audience, Remy, what do you do?
If I remember, we left off, the dwarf had just finally acknowledged our presence, right?
Yes.
We started talking to him? Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Trying to remember where we were in the conversation.
You had just said that you believe you could settle the problem that they have in the second shaft of the mine. And since this was a very cinematic way to end the episode, I think nothing else was said.
Right.
And I guess how the dwarf would respond, I guess, would be the next logical.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
could have wanted to add something, you know. All right. So, as you say this, that you might be able to help them solve this problem. The dwarf looks at your entire group, and let's see. Who has the better charisma?
Nope.
I'm gonna go with audience.
Yeah, it does appear like that because elves are pretty, but this one is. Oh, well, actually, charisma.
It's my dumb stat. Forget it.
That's right. All right. Well, we seem to. This is odd. All right. Well, apparently, I just found a bug with the D&D Beyond, but hey, as long as everything's there, it works. So we have a bit of a charisma standoff, but because audience is the largest one, most imposing, and most easily to recognize as being a force for good, well, the dwarf turns toward all of you, as Fisher just spoke, and then sees audience. And because of a passive charisma roll, we could say, the dwarf looks at audience and... So... I guess you've heard about our problem. I didn't know that anyone outside of the mine had gotten news of this. I'd say you're all adventurers. I wasn't aware anyone had made a deal or anything like that. Was anything promised?
We are with a very select group that gains intelligence about quests that need to be done, and we were given the quest by them. And there was some payment I provided.
I'm hearing someone sing.
Not on my end.
All right.
Uh,
Someone was singing. Or rather, humming. All right.
Yeah, and I think there was some talk of payment provided, but it was never fully closed.
Well, I wasn't aware that anyone had sent a bounty. I'm gonna have to check with my other dwarves. Maybe someone knows about what might have been promised, but unless I can confirm that, there's not much I can give you. Of course, there's a few minerals, metals, but I'm pretty sure adventurers don't really need ingots of copper or steel.
I was just gonna clap his breastplate and be like, I need nothing but the glory of combat and the renown that will give me.
You see the dwarf gives a little smirk about this and look at the rest of the group and... Well, as long as you're all in agreement with that, I can live with this.
I mean, if it's that or nothing, sure we'd take some steel ingots.
All right. Well, very well, very well. Oh. So, he looks at each of you. Audience. Seems to look... Alright, well, you might actually be able to pull this off. He looks at Fisher and yeah. don't suppose you have access to magic which can be helpful in fighting inside a mine. We'd rather like to not have to dig you out of there. And he looks...
I know some magic. Depends what you're talking about.
Oh, I definitely can recognize a few things. You see you have something to focus your powers, but you also have a lot of fighting equipment, so probably not a mage, but I don't see anyone that's really well versed in arcane. Don't really recognize you. And looking at Anvara, when he says that, don't really recognize you. I've seen this crest of yours, so most likely a priest, but I don't know what your divinity stands for. I don't really know what kind of powers you have. As far as you, oh, that's interesting. I've only met another one like you during my travels when I was younger. Can be interesting. Could be useful to lure whatever this creature is. I've heard it's been pretty interested in when it can hear people walking inside the shaft. We've never been able to have a really good image of it. We believe it's quite large and is a burrowing creature, so you might have to be very, very mindful of your environment. But I'm pretty sure you can mimic something that'll be useful to draw it out.
Raimi produces an image of the creature.
Yeah, looks a bit like what I've been told. I don't know much about it. One of my dwarf actually tells me that it's usually more a creature that you meet deeper underground, but yeah, strange times we have right now, especially with this new cult stirring trouble everywhere.
They suddenly just started attacking their friends, and Raimi says,
Yeah, that's a bit hard to understand what you mean if I don't know you. But yeah, I think I get it. Alright, well, and he turns back toward the audience, says, well, if you really want to help us, just keep on going, and he points toward the direction. And that hallway, it's going to lead you down the corridor, and eventually you'll find a few shafts. They're going to take you a few levels down. Take the second one to your right. It's gonna... I'll take you to where all the problem is. We're not gonna send anyone to help you, you know. If you want help to recover from this, you're gonna have to find a way to come back here on your own. So I hope you're prepared.
You won't need no help. Have no fear.
Yeah. Famous last words. Alright, well...
Raimi just ducks his head.
Hoping these actually aren't the last word I'll hear from you. Oh, well, anytime you're ready. I'd be very thankful to get this entire mining section back in order. We actually were able to find some interesting iron in there. Good quality. I think someone said that they actually found a few exotic mineral in there. I'd be eager to see what we have. So, you're free to go.
Okay then.
Are there any picks lying around? Like mining picks?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick one up and bring it with me.
Alright. Oh, yeah, yeah, okay, all right. Well, as long as you bring it back before you leave the mine. It's not like we have a shortage of it, but... Anyone else says something?
I didn't take you for a miner, but okay. Didn't take you much for a laborer either. Someone who does anything, really. But anyways.
Thought it could be used to potentially draw the creature out. I could smile.
All right.
You guys do any forging here, or is it just mining?
Oh, it's mostly mining, but we're exploring this area. It's actually not a very old mine. We've only started it last year, and so far we haven't been able to find a lot of interesting mineral. But we actually got some interesting information from someone who actually came here before and scouted out the place. Information source, as you can say. Well, they were very interested in us mining this area. We're hoping that probably if you solve this problem, we might be able to find what our source was able to find interesting in here. But so far, it's only been mostly copper. We believe we found iron, but mostly copper. And we found actually a very interesting quartz vein. But yeah, there's really not a lot of worthwhile mineral here. Starting to be a bit fearful that we're wasting our time.
Well, the reason I asked is I've been we ran into some trouble on the way here, and
No?
I picked up, and I'll pull out the hobgoblin's chainmail. I'll picked up this on the way, and I mean, it's not great quality, but it's metal. And we are planning on carting back some of this creature, and right now it's just kind of loose weight.
Alright, so what do you want? You want to exchange it, or you're looking to sell it?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot, but...
Well, yeah. We can certainly just try and smelt it. Yeah, sure. So hold on. Chainmail. That's always fun. I wrote down the pages on everything, but since I'm using my second screen to look at the book, I can't see the numbers of the page at the bottom of the.
The base cost is 75.
So it's a really
Cool.
basic chainmail. Oops.
Yeah.
But alright, so it's a basic chainmail, 75. Yeah, those were from the hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm assuming it's not in great condition.
No, it's poor quality. So
Yeah.
just looking at it, looks at it, just turns it around, pulls on it just a little bit. Yeah, a lot of impurity in the metals of this. Can give you 25 gold.
Sounds good.
Jeez.
All right. He turns to one of the dwarf and speaks in dwarf. And actually, do any of you speak dwarvish?
Yes.
Oh, then you would understand. So you understand the dwarf say to the other dwarf, well, just try and smelt it, try and purify the metal. Maybe we can get something out of it. Maybe able to make a knife. I'm sure one of the hunters that keeps bringing us food might actually like a hunting knife. Turns back toward Fisher. All right, here's your money. He hands you 25 gold, as if it was nothing.
Did you say 25 or 35?
25.
20. Okay.
It's a low quality metal.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Either we'll be back or we won't.
Well, I'm hoping you will be. Sort of eager to restart the mining in this section. But in case you're not, well, I hope you're in good standing with your gods.
One last question.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to have any there wouldn't happen to be any loose dirt in here instead of just rock? Or would we have to go back outside to find something like that?
Well, you're not gonna find it intentionally here, but you might find it on the boots of some of the dwarf coming back from outside. But yeah, inside of here, it's mostly rock. Haven't encountered anything that's dirt-based.
I'll turn to audience and go, I mean, because I assume Ornak can't grow in rock, so feel we might be wanting him to join us in this.
I mean, I haven't tried.
But
Well, you do know that you have to plant him, so it's a bit hard to plant something in rock.
Audience, when Fisher asked this, are we standing on rock right now?
Right now, yeah, you're maybe easily, I'd say 7 or 800 feet from the entrance inside of this main
Audience
hall.
slam the pick he just picked up into the rock a few times until it breaks, and then stick the seed in it and see if something happens.
No, you wait for more than a minute and nothing happens.
Nope, doesn't seem to work.
well, then I suggest we head outside and grow him before we head in.
Very well.
All right. So the dwarf
Head
leaves
back
you.
outside.
The dwarf leaves you with your thing. Just wish you luck and points you again in the direction that you're supposed to go. But since you're not going there, he just looks at you with a puzzled expression. Then he goes back to his things.
All right. I guess we go back outside and I'd plant seed.
All right, so you go a little bit out of the way of the doors because since it's, they've been mined, there's quite a lot of rocks around. But it's not hard to find a place where there's dirt. There's a small village, maybe not 100 feet away from where the door is. So you usually find a place to plant the seedling, and after a minute, you see Orunak come out, form, and look at all of you and says, "Oh, I was expecting to have a longer break. Oh well."
This entire minute, Rainey has just had a pouty look on his face.
He looks at you, Remy, and says, "Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I feel the same way." All right. So I guess you need my help. What exactly do you need?
Just follow us, and then hopefully we'll be fighting something.
Oh. Fighting something, yes. Alright. Lead the way.
Has he taken long enough of a break to recover any spells?
Yeah, basically he recovers the same way as you all do. So it's been over a day since the last time you called him. So basically the moment he goes back to his realm, he's going to take a long rest. So
Okay.
as long as you call him 8 hours later, he's going to have all his spells back and he's going to be at full health.
All right.
It's been 1 day since you looked at me.
Well, then let's head in.
If only Remy knew that's the song. It's actually an interesting way to make a Kenku if you have your own game at home, because on stream you might get a copyright claim if you start singing known songs, but when you're playing with your friends, if you're really good with songs, that can be a very interesting way of playing a Kenku.
Although,
Alright.
incidentally, how dark is this shaft that we're about to go into?
Well, when you enter, it's well lit. I know it's dwarves, and dwarves are really used to living in mines, but it's still pretty well lit. They do commerce, and there's people coming in. They really want to see well what's going on. So, for the first floor, let's call it like this, everything is rather well lit. It's not hard to see in every corner. As you make your way inside the hallway that you were shown, you do get the feeling that the more you're going to distance yourself from where all the dwarves are, the less the light is going to have been maintained. So, for now, it's pretty well lit, but as you progress, it might not stay well lit. So far, because the instruction was clear, which shaft are you supposed to go in?
The second one.
To the right.
Exactly. All right. So
We got there.
that could have went a bit weird if you just went with the second one. So yeah, you make your way easily to the right shaft, and you see that the shaft is going down quite a long way. You enter into this little elevator cart, and you're being lowered to, well, another good 150 feet before the cart stops. You do pass in front of another level, but it seems like it hasn't been dug for pretty far, so you can basically see the end of it, so it's most likely not this one. But after you go down to level, like I said, to about another 100 feet underground, you find yourself in front of a shaft, which looks mostly abandoned. You do see that there's a lot of debris on the ground, but other than that, it's pretty large. You can easily walk in a line from in the corridor. It's a roughly 30, about 30 feet wide. It's a dwarven hall for a mine, so it's comfortable. Most of the debris that seems to be on the floor seems to have been from rock which have been dislodged. And as you look around, you do see that there are quite a few caverns that seems to just sprout up from the wall, from walls, a lot smaller in shape, maybe 5 feet wide. So there's definitely been activities, but from what you've seen, the dwarf seems to make sure that it's comfortable, and those small halls don't fit that.
It's like, as a note, like not so much at the top of the elevator, but as it goes down toward this area, like you might have noticed Raimi starting to look a bit more antsy, a bit more shaky, and like even like stopping into the shaft, he is especially immobile.
All right.
Is it still lit?
For now, yeah.
Okay.
There are a few places in the wall where there are receptacle that have been carved, and you see there's some sort of oil in it, and this is what's burning. So it's basically about as bright as a torch, but more practical.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
lasting longer.
I will attempt to give Raimi a comforting pat on the back as we're going down. This is not very soft.
Don't worry, Bird.
Yeah.
Raimi takes a deep breath and, like, probably not as quickly as the others, but he does start making his way further in.
All right. Well, to that you hear Ohunak just say, "Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's how can you live underground? I mean, my leaves would all be yellow or dull, rusty color if I had to live here."
Hopefully we won't be down here for long. And
Well, I won't be here forever, whatever happens. So,
In Elvish, Raimi just kind of mutters under his breath, "You will never leave here, you know."
Anvar just looks at him like, "Excuse me?" Just turns around a bit disturbed that the Kenku now speaks Elvish.
well, as Remy says that, and this is your response to Remy, you hear Ohunak say, "Well, this isn't ominous at all. All right, let's not stay here."
Raimi just has a sad look on his face.
Audience is going to turn to everyone and be like, all right, we need to watch our surroundings, but we also want to lure them towards us, so everyone should stamp their feet. I'll hit the wall with my pick. Perhaps we can draw them more towards the entrance instead of having to go deeper in.
not a bad idea.
It's actually a pretty sound plan.
I will equip my shield.
Yeah, most of us are heavy as shit in, so shouldn't have too much
Yeah.
trouble.
You'll hear like the repeat voice from earlier, like it sounds very gruff and possibly dwarvish. They started attacking their friends, and
Please don't do that, Raimi. That's the last thing we need right now.
Yeah, yes, shield and sword in hand, getting ready to bang.
I am
maybe
going
just dips his
to.
head down in that usual way when no one understands him.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Fisher doesn't know what you're talking about. I am also going to switch to using the longsword I got off the hobgoblin,
All right.
as long as it is actually functional, because
Yeah.
I believe if we do want to preserve it's what we can of its shell. An axe might be a little brutal for that.
Yeah. All right. So, you decide to go inside this hallway. Not too fast. Try and see if you can draw the enemy out. I'm actually really disappointed in the intelligence score that the Umber Hulk has in this edition. All right.
Oh, also, I will. Speaking of you're planning on drawing them out, I think I might have something that, and I'll pull out of my backpack a hunting trap I got back in the garden. It's like, I feel like this might be useful. I don't know how to use it. I did fishing, not this, but I mean,
How
if we
big
are
is this
trying to
trap?
draw this thing out, it's the hunting trap. It's like a bear trap, basically.
Okay, like if it was a fox trap, I'm like, I mean,
Yeah.
you might scratch it.
Yeah, no, it's a bear trap.
All right.
We could. The audience looks at. Maybe we could like stick it under one of us, and then one of us could stamp over it. Maybe if the thing comes from below us, it'll go into the bear trap.
But then
I
it would
don't-
just come from under the trap, and the trap
Yeah.
would be useless. Or
We could turn the trap upside down.
Raimi slapped
one of
his
us
forehead
could
at that
stand
one.
over the trap, and when it comes, we could back up and try and lure it onto it.
Raimi
Either
makes
that
the
or
illusion of a
try and-
rock.
Of a what?
Raimi makes the illusion of a rock.
Ah, that's not a bad idea either. So we setting this up here? Or do we want to go a little farther in?
I see no reason to go any further if we can lure it here. This still gives us the potential means of escape. Not that we will, of course, need it of the minecart. So close.
Obviously.
Obviously.
I will. Attempt to find something that I could attach the hunting trap to.
Make a perception roll.
14.
14. Well, there's not a lot to attach it to. Of course, you could try and attach it to what looks like a reinforcement column that's been carved on the side of the hull of this of where you are. There's also the wood frame from the elevator cart that you were lowered in. But other than that, you're in a barren corridor with a few debris here and there, but the debris aren't huge rock, they're rocks, you know.
Yeah. I'll try and attach it to the column.
All right.
I guess, how does it say? Says it's a heavy chain that connects it, but it doesn't. I guess I'll tie or loop the chain around the column and then
Yeah.
stick a unlit torch through the chain so it.
So it's all right. That's not bad. Let's go with make an intelligence roll. I know you love making them.
That was 12.
12. All right. Well, you think you've managed to secure it well enough. You're aware that it's probably not as good as a profession hunter would have been able to do, but with what you have on hand, you think you did a good enough job. All right, so you have a bear trap placed in the middle of the hallway
All right.
with an illusion of
I'm-
a rock on top of it. Is that it?
Yeah, he basically just makes a rock big enough to cover the trap itself.
All right. So a bear trap, yeah, it's easy enough. So what kind of rock do you place? Big rock, round rock, flat rock, pointy rock?
So he is going to go with I would say that he would probably stick with something about, because like I guess what kind of rocks does he see in this area?
Well, the rock that you find are mostly rock that seems to have been dislodged from the wall. So there's a few rock with jagged edge, weird, odd shapes. A few of them looks like broken down boulders, maybe from a cart which was abandoned at one point, and the content just kept on staying there and being shuffled around. That's mostly it. Some of it look like it's been broken down, pushed to the ground, and it shattered as it fell to the ground. So you have a lot of odd shaped. Most of them aren't very large or huge. I'd say the biggest one you can find might be 2 feet wide, maybe a feet and a half high. You have a
So
good
he's
variety.
Yeah, he'll take inspiration from like one of the I guess like one of like the pile of odd rocks.
All right.
That's like a bit like especially ones that look like they're still like a bit lower to the ground. Pretty much with the logic of, well, if there's a big rock here, he'll just step around it. But if it's just a pile of rocks, then he might actually step over it.
Okay.
So
Okay. Make a. Oh. No, not dexterity. It would be an odd mix, but in intelligent stealth. See if you can make a good illusion that hides it well.
actually, there's actually already a mechanic for this for a minor illusion. It's like it is based on an investigation against my spell save DC.
Oh, okay. What is your spell DC?
I think I have a 17 in intelligence. Let me double check that. Come on. Yes, a 17 in intelligence, so that will be a DC 12. Or, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. DC 13.
Yeah, I have your character sheet right now. Yeah, 13. All right. Well,
I will stand next to it.
Although I will note that they technically have to make an action to investigate it.
yeah.
Just
Oh no.
if they really did want to try to like wait a minute.
Can I tie my hempen rope into a lasso?
What is your intelligence? I'd say most likely.
That's a 10.
That's a 10. So if I were to ask you as a player, do you know how to make a knot which works for a wrangling lasso? Would you be able to do this?
I can make a noose, so yeah.
All right.
A noose
With all
is
those
different.
executions that this cleric has done.
Well, I mean, if you throw a noose around someone's neck and yank it, it's effectively a very dangerous lasso.
Yeah, no. With 10
You
and
get some
Much rather you
shoelaces.
know how to make a lasso than a noose. It's
Hang on.
kinda-
Let me just.
I mean,
yeah, no, I know how to do it, but
Like, please don't trigger our audience.
oh yes, that's right.
That's the sponge, baby.
Didn't do enough loops. Shit. Hang on.
Right.
All right.
seeing what she's trying to do, I will offer her my silk rope. So this might work a little better for what you're looking for.
And actually, as a sailor, you are extremely familiar with all sorts of knot. So as you see her trying to make this knot, to make a lasso, wait a minute, oh yeah, that's right, you have to, you'd sort of realize that she's trying to make a knot, something you have most likely learned to do with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so can I just whip up a lasso with my silk rope and then hand it to her?
Yeah, I'd say make a dexterity roll and don't roll 1.
19.
Let's go.
There was a 1 next to it, though.
Then with ease, Anvara, as you are slightly struggling with this, but feeling confident that you're almost done with this, you see Fisher arrive and say, here, why don't you use this? And he just does something really fast and he has the same result as what you've been doing for the past 3 minutes. He basically did it in 2 moves.
Yeah, I just have to remind them how. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he hands
Well-
you a silken rope already tied to make a good lasso. Lasso. Yeah, sorry, pronounce it in French.
Audience, you want to start? We're gonna start banging on stuff.
Are we all ready? Prepared? I'll look around the party.
I think we are. I'll go back to the trap. Kind of stand over it.
All right.
All right.
You see Orunak preparing himself. And audience, and if you're curious, I've added Orunak in our homebrewed collection. So he is now Orunak CR1, if you want to have his official stats.
Yeah, no, I think I checked those out last time. So I think I...
Yeah, but I noticed that there was another one, a previous version that I made of a bit higher level. So this one is exactly as what I've sent you during last session.
Okay.
Raimi is going to take a position about, I'm going to say, 20, 25 feet away from the trap.
Okay.
And even as they're waiting for this thing to show up, he is going to hide.
Okay.
Might not mean much of it. Might not make a difference, but that'll be my stealth again. I think it was a 7. No, it was an 8. So that'll be 22.
Okay.
And just every minute when it looks like the illusion is about to dissipate, he's just going to recast the illusion, which is why I'm keeping myself in that range.
Okay. So basically, every minute you have a short flicker of the image, like they like to do in these shows and everything, where you just see the image and it's back to normal.
Yeah, it's like nope.
So this is your position. So what sort of noise do you make to attract it?
All right. Well, I'll walk over to a wall that's near the trap. I'll walk over to the wall that's near the trap, and I'll pull out my pick, and I'll start banging my pick into the wall and yelling out dwarven curses, because I have no idea if it understands dwarven or not.
Solid.
Well, yeah. All right. So
I'll do some stomping with my 310-pound body
yeah,
made of metal.
Raimi doesn't move a fucking muscle.
he just stays there. Mm-hmm.
I hate it here.
I'm gonna hold the last one in my hand, but with my hand I'm gonna bang on my shield.
Okay. Olenek stands near Remy and just looks at you and says, "Yeah, I know what you feel. I know what you're feeling. But doesn't help to be scared. It just makes it harder to act. And if you're gonna die anyway, it's more fun to die while doing something than just staring at your doom coming at you. So, do your best."
Anime sweat drop.
yeah. Olenek isn't the most charismatic creature.
Raimi has noticed.
But it was an honest attempt. So, well, honest enough for him anyway. Alright, so you start making noise, and, well, if any of you wants to be mindful of the environment and see if it's coming, make a perception roll.
Will do. 14.
21.
Alright.
Nat 20 for 21 total.
Oh.
24.
Alright. Alright, so Anvara, Fisher, and Raimi. Yeah. You're making noise and you're seeing all of this around you, this quietness. And you do hear a little bit of rumbling from inside the walls. But it's very faint. Fisher, because of your natural 20, you can identify that the rumbling seems to be coming from the right. But it's very faint. It's sort of just you're listening, and Anvara is making noise. Audience is picking on the walls, shouting curses and dwarves, and you just hear the. And you, Fisher, because of your natural 20, it's coming from the right.
Okay, I'm gonna move to stand on the opposite side of the trap from where I hear the noise coming from, and keep doing what I'm doing, but point at the wall to my right, where I hear it coming from.
Am I already hitting on the right wall, or am I hitting on the left wall right now?
Well, that's up to you.
Which one was nearer to the trap? Because that was the wall I was hitting.
Fisher, did you place the trap closer to the right or closer to the left?
The trap's in the middle, it's anchored to a support beam on whichever side the support beam was on. Or the reinforcement pillar, whatever.
Yeah, there's one on each side.
Left.
All right. Well, then I will give Fisher a nod, and I'll move over to the right wall and continue what I was doing now on the right wall.
So from where Fisher heard the sound coming.
Yeah.
All right. So you move to that wall and you start hammering on the wall, trying to make noise. And as you're all paying attention to what's going on, it's very faint. But again, because of how well Anvara, Remy, and Fisher rolled, you notice that there's a few rock that dislodge from the right wall, and they just fall to the ground. And as you're looking on the wall, you sort of see this small crack in the wall. It's not very wide, maybe 2.5 inch tall and 3/4 of an inch wide. But it does seem to be deep. You don't see anything inside of it, but you're pretty sure it wasn't there before. The crack on the wall is 5 or 6 feet away from where audience is hitting on the side of this hall.
I'll just say, I think we've got incoming. And point the crack out to audience if he hasn't seen it yet.
If he points out, I will let you roll a perception with advantage.
Alright. I will roll perception with advantage. Okay, and... Alright, I got a 5.
You look at the wall and you look at Fisher and you just shrug.
Well, did you say I got incoming?
Yeah.
You said I got incoming, right? Okay, well, I don't see the crack, but I will... I'm going to change my pick to one hand, and I'm going to equip my shield onto my other hand.
All right.
And then I will... Actually, no, if he says we got incoming, I'll actually drop the pick and pull out my sword.
All right.
And I'll keep shouting dwarven curses, but I'll stop picking at the wall.
All right. Well, in that case... Ooh. Well, that's going to be interesting. All right. So you're looking at the wall, and you can't find where Fisher is pointing. And Fisher... Anvara and Remy, you also realize that Fisher seems to be completely... not Fisher, the audience seems to be completely lost. He's just looking everywhere at the wall and just prepares for a fight, but still seems to be completely lost.
Remy pretends to be surprised.
Yes.
He pretends to not be surprised, which means he actually is. So you're looking at the wall, and audience, you're looking everywhere, and I would like to make you do a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throw.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh.
I get +2 to those, at least.
You should get more than that.
Do I? Oh, well, you know what? Let me check my character sheet. I was just guessing because I know I get +2.
You're a pally.
Yeah, you have proficiency.
Yeah.
Saving throw.
I think
Oh, and
you're
yeah, you're right. I get +4. Ooh, baby. That is a 16.
16. All right. Well, as you're looking all over the wall, your eyes pass over one section, and for just a brief moment, you feel a bit foggy in your head, but suddenly it just comes back, and it only lasted for a second, but whew, feel like something just spiked in your mind, and just keep on. You shrug it, not too easily, but you manage to just resist that whatever was that and keep on looking everywhere.
Okay.
You succeeded. The DC was 15.
Would I recognize that something just tried to mess with my mind or not?
Well, actually, I'd say because it is charisma, it is you are used to know that you have the will of something and you have a strong will, and because of different elements of story so far, I'd say I'd allow you to make a intelligence roll with advantage.
All right. I believe, boys.
I believe that some god has a plan for all of us.
Not bad. The advantage helped. That was a 15.
15. Well, actually, yes, you look at this and you feel that and you just recover from it, and you get the feeling that something just tried to exert something over you. And your memory of this also just refocus to what Remy keeps saying ever since you entered the hall. And they just started attacking one another. I believe this is what you were saying, what the Remy was saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have this phrase that just pops in your head again, and do you do anything else? Sam? Audience? Did we lose audience?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Turns out he failed it anyway.
Oh.
Uh-oh. He's gone
Oh no.
from the Skype call.
Oh, well, apparently we just lost our paladin.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing. Just before everything starts.
Oh.
He's back.
Oh, hello?
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, I did it for a second.
You are severely roboting, though.
Yeah. Maybe, do you still have juice in your telephone? Maybe it's in your cell? Maybe it's almost out of power?
Oh,
I think...
Leave again?
Yeah, this is the fun thing about live stream. Well, we're gonna give him just a few moments. Andara, Fisher, and Remy, is there anything you'd like to do while audience seems to, because of your perception, because of your high perception roll, which I don't mind still, it still be functioning. I'd say you do notice that audience Hello? Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah, you're still lagging out, but
We can't hear you, but the call says that you're still there. So I don't know if you have the option to plug in your cell. So maybe it's just a bit low in power.
if
Well,
I mean,
his
if-
power's out. That's why
Yeah.
it's on his phone anyway.
Yeah.
So we can't plug it in.
Well, he said there's a generator where he is, so he
Right.
has some
Well-
electricity.
No, the problem right now is my phone has charged. The problem is that I don't have internet connection because you need
Oh.
internet.
Oh, okay.
oh dear. Maybe if you want to like limit bandwidth use, maybe try typing. That could be a better way to keep him in the game.
Right now, I'm standing outside under a cell tower. we're gonna
Oh.
my
Quality.
connection.
Jesus.
All right. Well, as long as it doesn't start raining. Okay. Well, we could hear you rather well. So.
Okay.
That's good. So I said right before my connection broke, I'm going to shout out to the party. Something is trying to dominate my will. Be careful. It's in the walls.
All right.
A paladin with a fragile mind. Surprise, surprise.
Well, actually, since he shouted it out, seems it's not so fragile. He managed to.
I mean, like, at least in response to, like, yeah, like, definitely something might jump out. Raimi is going to hold an action by, like, drawing his bowstring and just sort of, like, waiting for something to come out.
All right. Audience, since you are outside under a under a cell tower, do you want me to roll for you? I can use the roller on the D&D Beyond.
No, I also have D&D Beyond open, so I should be able to. I'm just going to use the virtual dice on that.
Okay. All right, then as you shout this and everyone seems to get ready, Anvara, Fisher, Remy, do you do anything to... Well, Remy, you already said, but Fisher and Anvara, do you do anything? You just noticed that audience seems to have just shrugged off some attempt at influencing him.
Oh, well, I've got the lasso in hand. I'm now realizing I have to fight the strength of a number Hulk.
Fisher?
What? Yeah, I'm actually gonna sheath my longsword and just be ready to throw a firebolt at if I see it pop out.
All right. All right, then. We are...
Can't really think of anything. I mean, yeah, I don't have anything I can cast that would do anything right now, so.
All right, then. Audience, do you have any means to see a battle map? If I send one on our
No.
Discord... No? All right. All right, well, I'm still going to turn on the battle map so that viewers might see it and everyone else can. And I am going to send in our Discord the appearance of it. But fortunately, it is a very simple map because it is a very well-made dwarven hall.
They may be rough around the edges, but they really know how to keep a place
Yeah.
nice and smooth.
It's a dwarven mine, you know, hasn't been... It's well made, rather clean. It's almost where they live, so... Alright, so we have... you're all standing near the edge, I'd say. Remy, far off. Audience, near the wall. Fisher, Sorry, center down. And Anvara, where were you? So the battle map should be updating in 1 or 2 seconds.
Okay. Fisher is where in relation to the trap right now?
Fisher said he was placing himself to the left of the trap, so...
So it would be at E16.
Yeah.
If the top is the right wall.
Yes.
All right. In that case, I would be at D18.
All right. And just so that you know what the map looks like, audience, it is a long hallway, 30 feet wide. You are standing next to the right wall, just a bit in front of Fisher. Fisher is roughly 20 feet away from you. All right. Well, actually, since this is a fight, and we usually take our break at midnight, at least midnight for me, I am wondering, audience, do you think you have the necessary power to survive a 10-minute break? And I think we lost him again.
Oh, okay.
So this isn't a bad place to take a break. All right.
Nice.
All right, well, everyone, we're going to try and take a break and see if we can't stabilize audience's connection. Sorry for this unfortunate problem, but it is live stream. We can't predict when we're going to have these problems. So, see you all in 10 minutes. Bye. All right, everyone, welcome back. I know that we usually are a little over 10 minutes, but since we have a player that is giving so much, well, he is being extremely obstinated, stubborn in trying to stay with us and actually do this fight. So I know there is a word for it, but right now I'm only getting the French word in my mind.
Committed.
Yes, exactly. Finally. So he is being so committed. It is a paladin level of commitment, and he has sent us a nice image of where he is standing right now. And well, we can't do anything more than give him points for this because... All right. So, audience, are you with us right now?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Hope.
All right, so we start this by rolling initiative as the wall just beside audience suddenly bursts and there is a large Umber Hulk which appear just next to audience. And as it bursts...
I have my held action go off.
Which was?
Launching my bow at anything that jumped out.
All right. Well,
not the literal bow, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But I'd say first, let's all roll initiative to see in what order what happens. Audience, I rolled your initiative because right now I know that you are in a place where you can't roll really well. So you have an extremely good initiative of 22.
Let's go.
Damn, son. I'm at
D&D
the
Beyond
opposite
rolled
end
a
of the
19
spectrum.
for you, so it does do.
I really wish this roll had been my
Plus
attack roll.
3 dex. Ah.
All right,
there
so
you go.
Fisher, what is your initiative?
Plus
1 plus 0. Let's go.
Nice.
I'm ready.
Anvara,
Oh, boy.
what did you roll?
13 plus 4, so 17.
Remy?
I rolled a 23 and I'm mad about it.
Ah, come on.
I wanted it to be my attack roll. No.
All right, and the Umber Hulk rolled a. All right. So the Umber Hulk bursts from the wall, and Remy, you had a held action, if I believe. Fisher, you also had a action
Had
ready.
a firebolt.
Firebolt.
Yeah.
Anvara, did you have anything readied?
I was waiting for him to come to see where he was going to come out. So I'm
All
not-
right, so basically
And
you're
then
just
using-
you're just looking at the direction where he came out right now.
Yep, I'm just.
All right. Audience, as you see this Umber Hulk bursts right in front of you, you take a step back, and did you have any held action or?
I don't think I did. I was just looking at it. I was looking at the wall.
So you're all just looking at it with two people who having. All right. So this means that everyone needs to roll a charisma saving throw.
I
That's a
believe-
charm he's
Go.
using. Right?
I believe, boys.
No. I am going to be useless
Yes.
in this fight.
No, you're actually going to be anti-useless. You're going to be against us.
Well,
thank
I
Christ
mean, it
18.
depends.
So, audience, for your charisma saving throw, you rolled a unnatural 20, so you are unaffected by it. Again, you feel this thing inside your head trying to take hold, but you manage to shrug it off. Remy, what did you roll?
Thank Christ in 18.
You rolled an 18, alright. You
One second, our power's apparently back on, so I'm going to run in and
Oh,
try and
shit.
actually get a better setup.
Let's go, let's go.
Aw, shit.
Run.
Run,
Run.
little dragonborn, run.
Run away and never return.
Alright, so, Anvara, you said you rolled a...
Actually, this is a charm, right? Just making sure we're.
No.
This is a charm. No. Ah. Oh, that's gonna be a 60.
A 6 or a 16?
16, 1 6.
Okay.
I'm reading the
Look at all
definition
you guys
to see
with-
if there is a...
It's a positive charisma save.
Hey, my charisma stands at 9. I have proficiency in it. Thank fuck.
I mean, frankly,
Yeah. Mine's at 9
frankly,
and
if
I don't
I didn't
have
roll the
proficiency.
charisma stat that I had, like, I'm not sure how I could justify my character being this charismatic.
He's
Well-
adorable.
Maybe it's just cute.
Yeah, charisma is a bunch of things. It's your general appearance, the assurance that you have, the way that you talk. So it could be that you look absolutely adorable.
Yeah, just like it's one of those things. One of those things apply.
You did say that you have a odd fascination or obstination to smell good, so this can factor in. Aha! Hello!
There we go.
Hello.
Please do not get out.
Ta-da!
We need you. Out of character. Envar didn't say.
I mean,
Got him.
Like, look, compared to everyone else in the party, audience is the best piece of meat that Raimi gets. So
All right. Let's smack this.
All right,
bitch.
so Anvara, you said you got a 16.
Yes.
Fisher, what did you roll?
I got a 10.
You got a 10.
Fucking.
All right.
My -1 charisma save.
Yeah. So you have to roll a d6.
I can't lesser restoration you out of this one.
3.
3. All right. So, Remy, audience, and Anvara, you are looking in the direction of this Umber Hulk who just broke through the wall in front of you. And you all feel that pressure in your mind, that moment of fuzziness, and just for a second the world comes out of focus, but you all manage to shrug it off and just get manage to start concentrating again. Fisher, unfortunately, you didn't manage to resist it, as the DC for this is a bit higher than what you rolled.
I've got like a 20% chance to actually succeed on this save.
So basically, I believe you said that your eye color right now is red.
Red.
But
Yeah.
for a moment, your eye color just turns white. But fortunately, you just stay frozen in place, looking directly at the Umber Hulk, and you're not doing anything. And
Could be worse.
Remy and Anvara, because of your high passive perception, you also realize that Orunak is staring at the Umber Hulk in the same lifeless way as Fisher is.
Gonna run into my own hunting trap at some point.
So, Remy, you are the only one not affected by this who had a held action.
Okie dokie. No big deal.
It is a large creature, very huge, screaming, looking in your direction, looking slightly insectoid, covered in armor, with claws the size of short swords.
It's like, yeah, I'm not bitter about my previous rolls anymore. Nat 20. Fuck you.
Oh,
I'm
there
wrong.
you go. Starting off good.
You.
And actually, audience is right beside the creature.
So I get fucking sneak attack, bitches. Okay. So the normal weapon damage. 3, 2. Oh. Where did I roll it on? There it is. Okay, so the normal weapon damage is an 11, and now I'm going to roll sneak.
All right.
3, 2, 3. That one fell out. 1.
For a total of
9.
3, 2, 3, 1, 9. So 20 total piercing damage.
20 total damage. All right, you fired a shot. The shot. What was the attack roll?
Huh?
The attack roll.
Oh, the total attack roll?
No,
Or
the
damage?
to hit. I don't remember hearing.
Oh, it was a natural 20.
Oh, natural
Yeah,
20. All right.
I thought that part was heard. That's why I said I wasn't so bitter about my previous
okay.
rolls. It's like, damn it, I could have used these.
All right. So in total, you did
20 piercing.
20 piercing. Is that before or after the critical?
All of the critical.
With all the critical. All right. So you fire, and the shot just managed to find a small opening inside the inside of its armor, but doesn't appear to have sunk in very deep. It does feel it. You just see it just reel back a little bit and look at you very angry. Next one is audience.
All right. I will do my classic. Take a swing at a creature
Now go ahead.
with
Nice.
a long sword.
Mixing it up. Nice.
I also got a nat 20. My dice are happy that I'm back.
Oh yeah.
And I will use divine smite on that.
No, you don't say.
Are you
that's-
sure?
Yeah, you know, I'm actually pretty sure. So,
Hey, we might not die to this.
so that's okay.
You know, if two people in the party were going to get nat 20s, they might as well
Yeah.
have been our classes.
Definitely the two best in the game for it.
Psych, bitch.
I'm
His
gonna
mother's
do,
here.
I'm gonna do 27 damage to it.
Total?
Yeah, total. Could have been better. I didn't roll actually very high on my damage rolls.
Oh well. So you
27 is like an average divine smite for me, not a crit divine smite.
Yeah. So you look at the creature, you see an opening inside of its armor, and you just shove your sword inside that hole. You see your weapon light up with the divine fury of your god, and well, you're a bit disappointed because the creature doesn't react as strongly as you would have hoped. But it still reels a bit from the damage, and it screams, and it really doesn't seem to be liking it very much. It is, however, still not looking extremely hurt. And the next one is the Umber Hulk. The Umber Hulk... So, which of you is it considering to be the most dangerous? Well, because of the flash of light of the Divine Smite, it is going to attack audience.
I'm like probably the one right next to it that just shoved a
Yeah.
sword into it.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's gonna smart.
Ow.
Alright, so we get... Alright. We get a natural 20 from a claw attack.
Okay,
Ugh.
what are with all the crits right now, my guys? That's 3 crits in a row.
Why are these dice angry?
We have a 10 for another claw attack.
Okay, that misses.
And we have a 18 for a bite attack.
That also barely misses.
Oh, so the only one that hit is the claw attack. But you all see this creature just starts clawing at audience, 2 claw attack and 1 bite attack, trying to snatch it. Barely misses it with the when he tries to bite him. Wow, that word didn't want to come out. But the natural one, right? So it's 15 points of slashing damage from the claws of the creature.
It's alright, I just did double that to it. I'm chilling.
Yeah, but
Chilling.
proportionally speaking,
almost half your health.
yeah, proportionally speaking, that took a chunk off your health.
It did. It did. I felt it.
Definitely. All right, the next one on the list is Anvara with a
All right.
19.
Anvara is going to place herself opposite the trap so that the only way for it to advance directly towards me is directly into the trap. And she is going to attempt to command it.
All right. All right. What is the spell DC of your spell?
That's going to be a 13
13 wisdom, you said?
wisdom. Yes.
And he rolls a 19. So unfortunately, he resists it.
Alright, in that case, time to burn my second level 2 and summon spiritual weapon.
That
That's 2 spells.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, fuck, yeah, that's right. Ooh,
that's what I was about to look. I think command is a normal action spell.
Yes, it is. Oh.
So you still have about 10 feet of movement, and if you have a bonus action or a reaction that doesn't involve spell casting, you can still do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna brace myself for whatever it tries to do next, I guess.
All right, command. All right. In what language did you scream your command?
Oh, right. I didn't think what language to use, so eeny, meeny, miny.
Well, if you didn't think about it, I'd say it would be either Elvish or Common.
Yeah, it landed on Elvish. And I'm
Alright.
guessing this Umber Hulk that lives in the Dwarven Mountain didn't hear my...
You don't know. But it didn't react to what you said.
Dude.
Alright. Unfortunately, Fisher, you are entranced by this spell effect. And so is...
Noise.
Yeah. Alright, so you're all just still... Well, yeah, Fisher finish. Alright, we go back to the top of the initiative. Which means everyone has to make a charisma saving throw again.
23. I'm chilling.
Go.
Yeah.
I got it.
Nope.
Fisher, what did you have?
12.
Alright.
If only there was
Remy, what did
somebody
you
in
roll?
our party who could
Soft 20.
do something that would
Alright.
help
Anvara, what
with
did you
saving
roll?
throws.
Well, she would like to, but she just got fucked up by that check, too. I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. Alright. Then in that case, Fisher, Anvara, you all both have to roll a d6. No, sorry, not a d6. A d8, sorry.
It's okay. I'll 1v1 this thing with Remy. We got this.
Yeah,
we
you
keep
guys
rolling
got
only
this.
nat 20s.
Anvar and I will just beat the shit out of each other. That's
Yeah.
a 4.
6.
Alright, so Fisher, again, you just stay motionless,
Oh, thank God.
staring at the creature. Anvara, I would have you roll another d8 and tell me the result.
Oh, fuck me sideways. 2. Oh, no. How bad is it?
On a 5 or a 6, the creature takes no action, but use all of its movement to move in a random direction. So I use the clock dial, meaning that 1 is straight up, 2 is diagonal right. And Fisher is standing right behind the trap, which means you just walk in the trap.
Oh,
Oh,
shit
no.
balls.
Let's see. Let me read what actually happens. That's
Bear
a
traps don't hurt.
DC 13 deck save, or take D4 piercing damage and stop moving.
That's not that.
So, Anvara, DC... hold on. Alright, it doesn't say anything about saving throw. All right, so you make your normal saving throw. You're an elf. What did you roll?
It's gonna be a fine.
It's gonna be a what?
A 6.
A 6.
Oh,
So,
I'm about to get my fucking shin snapped in half. God damn it.
well, just a leg. So, what was the consequence of walking in the trap, Fisher? I didn't hear it all.
1d4 piercing damage. They stop moving. And until the creature breaks free of the trap, its movement is limited by the length of the chain, typically... Oh, shit. That's typically 3 feet long, but we have it attached to the pillar behind us.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's just at its max length right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you just stepped in front of Fisher, who is, by the way, just staring in emptiness. You got a bear trap who just did 2 points of piercing damage on your leg. You're immobilized, entranced.
Lovely.
And you
You're
can
having
use your
a-
action to make a DC 13 strength check to free yourself.
I'm pretty good.
Each failed check deals
Unfortunately,
1
on
piercing
a 5
damage.
or a 6, the creature takes no action but to walk.
Yeah.
So the trap just snaps, and you barely react to it. And actually, Remy, you're in a good position to see this. You just see the bear trap snaps on Anvara's leg, a bear trap, and she is completely entranced. She barely reacts to it. And just, you see her trying to keep on moving, but because the chain is at maximum length, all you hear is the chain cling, cling, like a zombie stuck in a bear trap trying to move away.
Raimi lets out a woman's voice screaming.
And you hear this echo through the halls of this corridor.
Making good impressions on the dwarves upstairs.
Yeah, who probably hears that?
I'll roll to convince them it was audience.
Well, actually, they actually heard a woman scream, and you're the only woman of the group.
Audience
Yeah.
can scream like a girl. It's 2020.
Audience is the only one doing shit right now.
Yeah.
Well, Remy is. Remy is too.
Perdóname.
All right. So, Remy is actually the first one to actually do something. What do you do?
Oh god, Raimi is just scared right now.
If you feel it is in character, you can actually make a charisma saving throw to see if you are... Or actually, I think it would be wisdom because it's willpower. So, it's either one. You can try to push through this through sheer will, or simply have the necessary force of presence to stay focused and do something.
You know, I will give myself that wisdom save just because this is a very different situation. How would we look with a 13?
I'd say it's enough. I would have placed the DC at 10 because there's not an actual magical effect.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, this is more just for... Raimi has not seen this before, and it is just, and there is a white streak somewhere. No, not that extreme, but...
I was gonna say he can do something. There's a little coming out.
It's just a small trickle at this point. Just a few
The
drops.
turtle's just poking its head like,
So-
He is going to... let's see, what are these? Okay, yeah, making sure which numbers these are. Yeah, Bravey is still wanting to put some distance between him and that Umber Hulk, so he is going to move to see... see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 6. He is going to move to C12.
Okay.
And he is going to fire his short bow again.
Go ahead. The audience is still next to the creature.
Come on, Daddy loves you. 21.
21 hits.
Okay. So normal damage is 10. Then with sneak... yeah, so 15 total piercing.
All right. So you fire your short bow directly at the creature. The arrow managed to sink in, and you actually think you've hit something because you see it reels a bit from that hit, and you see blood starting to trickle from the wound with your arrow still coming out of it. It has a slight limp as it is trying to place itself again. Audience.
Yeah.
Yes. Remy, is there anything else?
I was just gonna say, like, it's like Brady probably has in his head, like, yes, I hit it. Oh fuck, I hit it. And he's going to bonus action dash an extra 20 feet to like along C. Just like, fuck, I need to get away from this thing.
All right. Reminding yourself that you just saw audience being slashed pretty severely by a single claw attack.
It's just like, I heard it. Oh no, I heard it.
All right. Audience, you are the next one to act.
Audience will actually do, in a surprising move, he'll hit it with his longsword.
Oh, there it is.
What a shock!
Nani?
20 with a 23. So,
It hits.
And then he'll divine smite it. We got one more of those. We're putting all the burst, boys. All right.
Ore no basto.
16 damage.
16 damage. You hit it again with a burst of energy coming out of your weapon. This one does seem to be starting to feel the pain of these injuries. And again, because Umber Hulk do not like strong light, and your weapon keeps emanating light, and you are doing considerable amount of damage, he is again going to turn against you, audience.
All right. By the way, guys, I'm just going to let you know if he hits like 2 to 3 attacks, I might just die. So, just want to let you guys know.
All right.
Dude, don't worry. Our cleric's confused.
And stuck in a fucking bear trap.
Yeah, she cannot get to you.
Actually, isn't he about? No, he's further away from me.
Yeah, I'm too far.
He's about
So
10 feet away from you.
You can cast Healing Word if you become unconfused.
All right.
If you are.
So the first attack with Claw is of a 16.
Nope.
The second attack with Claw is a 24.
Yep. All right, come on, third. Don't hit it. I can survive one attack.
Third attack is a 7.
All right. I will be alive till the next round.
You could probably
I will
could have
survive.
taken 2 because you took a crit last time.
That's true.
why it did so
I
much
could have maybe
damage.
taken 2.
Yeah. And he rolled minimum damage on that for his claw attack. So you take 6 points of slashing damage.
All right. Good to know 6 is the minimum.
Yeah.
And this thing can one shot. Oh,
All right.
So, well, however, because of how low your hit points are starting to be, this slash does manage to make a good blood splash on the floor of this cavern. And since no one is actually being able to pay attention to this except for Raimi, who just notices because of his good heaven high passive perception roll, you see audience taking a slash which makes a lot of blood come out of him.
Alright.
And, well, Anvara is entranced, Fisher is entranced, and Orunak is entranced. So we go back at the top of the initiative.
Let's go.
Everyone makes a charisma roll.
It's alright, Remy. We can 2v1. 2v1.
I can
I'm
make this. I just need a 16 or higher.
I believe my guy.
That's cogged. Oh! 18.
Oh, baby.
I did it, guys.
Nice. I got a 16.
19 from Vara.
15? I don't remember what the DC was.
What did you roll, Remy?
15. I
15.
don't remember what the DC was.
The DC is 15. You all
Oh, my
managed to stay clear-headed for this.
Oh,
13 really is my lucky number.
For that fight, yes. All right, you all managed to stay clear-headed, and so this means that Fisher, you just snap out of this trance that you've been for you don't really know how long. And this is when you realize that standing right in front of you, there's Anvara with the bear trapped, gripping her leg. You can see Audience, who is starting to have trouble, and there's a considerable amount of blood splattered on the ground. At first glance, you don't see where Remy is. And Orunak seems to be staring at nothing. Just vacantly. Anvara, you wake up from your trance, realizing that there's a bear trap stuck to your leg. And in front of you, there's that creature that is probably 7 feet away from you. And Audience bleeding, starting to bleed quite a lot. And so we start with Remy. What do you do?
Doing what he thinks he needs to do. Come on. I believe in you. 22.
22 hits.
I believe that God has a plan for all of us. Alright, so 7 normal damage, and then so 15 total piercing.
15. Right. Your arrow sink into the Umber Hulk, seemingly injuring him quite a lot. He seems to be wearing down, slowly losing his will to keep on fighting. The next one is Audience.
Audience will grin up at the Umber Hulk and be like, finally someone who hits with something that I can actually feel. And then I'll attack the Umber Hulk with his longsword.
Finally, someone who can
Mixing
penetrate.
it up. Throwing in a one-liner.
And he will, oh my god, he will hit with the 26.
It hits.
So close to a crit. Alright, and he will use his last Divine Smite.
Go ahead.
It's like, what are you using them for, if not for...
What, spell slots? You mean amount of smites?
Exactly.
You mean I can use it for something else?
And he will hit
Spells,
for,
it's like-
He will hit for 21.
21 points of damage. All right. The blow definitely takes the creature to a very damaged state. You manage to hit it. The blade just finds a weak spot in its armor, and you manage to shove your blade almost all the way to the hilt inside of his stomach, and you just pull it out with the blood, with blood gushing out as you take your sword out of his body. He almost falls to his knee, but he is still up.
Alright, and then I will use Channel Divinity, Turn the Tide, and as a bonus action, each creature with twice within 30 feet regains 1d6 plus 2 HP if it is no more than half its max HP. So, only me. But
Anvara took some. Only less than
not
half.
below
HP,
half.
never mind.
I hope she's not
never
below
mind.
half
Like
for
2.
me. I hope
Like,
she's not
never
below
mind.
half for me.
Right, so I'm not a level 1 wizard.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I rolled a 1. Alright, I'll regain 3 HP.
Oh, good. Maybe this would be enough to stave off what is
The
happening.
difference between 1 and 0 HP. So.
And,
Yeah.
and a teeth bandage suddenly appears on your nose.
You see a very, very slight glow surround me for a second.
All right. So the next one is the Umber Hulk attacking. And since you're the only one who is in range right now, who seems to be hurting him quite a lot, he does actually try to hit you for as hard as he can. The first claw attack being a 14.
Nope.
The second claw attack being a 10.
Nope.
And the mandible attack, his bite attack, is a 20, not natural.
That will hit.
Meaning this could hurt a little bit. You take 23 hit points
Oh
of
my
slashing
God.
damage.
Holy shit.
Did it just bite my head off? What the heck? No.
No, but he probably just bit into you and started shaking frenetically.
Me and it are clutched in a death embrace right now since it's almost dead.
And he just spits you out, and you see audience falling to the ground with blood gushing out of his wound. Unmoving.
Your champion has fallen. You must save him.
And the Umber Hulk lets out a scream of anger. And he stares you down, Anvara. But he is out of attack. So it is actually your turn. Audience is bleeding out, severely mangled, and this creature is looking straight at you.
And
I need healing.
he would not happen to be within, like, touching range, would he?
Because I said that he just bit him and spit him out. Let's see. Well, actually, he spat him out in front of him, which means he is diagonal to you.
And I am, 7 feet tall? So, I
Yeah,
don't know.
so yes, he is in range because he is the square. Just, he's in F15 right now. So,
Okay.
you can, if you stretch, you can just touch him.
Alright. I wanted to give you resistance, Fisher, but this is a bit more of a pressing matter. I'm going to cast a level 2 Cure Wounds on audience.
Go ahead.
Alright, 2d8 plus 3. 7. So that's going to be 14 plus 3. You just took 17.
I heal 17.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Aren't you a life cleric?
Yes, I am.
Doesn't that add? Don't they get extra healing?
Not at this level, I don't
Don't.
believe.
Hang on. Disciple of Life, whenever you use a spell at first level or higher, restore HP. Restore HP equal to 2 plus the spell's level. Oh, so you get an actual plus 4 to that. So you get plus 21 HP.
So you are healed back to 21.
Wow. I go from down to feeling just fine and ready to attack with my longsword.
You've just been healed by a pagan. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
You know what? I feel okay.
Audience just thinks it was his god intervening.
Yeah.
This divine
Actually-
intervention.
No. I'll wake up. I'll look to her. I'll be like, "Oh, finally you do something."
And
Oh, snap.
as a bonus action, since Eladrin get Misty Step at will, can I Misty Step out of the trap?
Oh.
It is a racial feature.
It's not technically a spell slot because I've used all my spells and it's still telling me, "Hey man, want to use Misty?"
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna read what Misty Step says. Entangle, firefall.
It's super brief though.
I can say with authority that if the goal is to get out of that
and
trap
Misty
without needing
Step.
to make a save, it's doable.
I wasn't looking at the right spell. Misty. Oh, it's a second level spell. Sorry, I was looking at first level spells.
Mhm.
Hold on. This
It
explains.
says nothing about movement restriction. So,
But just sometime in the wording there is the answer that you're looking for. Misty Step. All right, yeah. Yeah, I'd say you can.
all right, I'm gonna get myself behind the Umber Hulk, like so that the Umber Hulk is between me and the audience. So that would
That would put you
at
age
H18
Yeah, okay. All right.
get some flank shit going because I am not liking this fight right now.
I mean, we're about to kill it. I think we're gonna be okay.
It almost tore you in half.
Imagine if it had been a critical. So
I'd
That
still be
potentially could have
alive.
been death.
I'd
Potentially.
I have 36 HP. I'd be alive.
yeah, he has to do almost 75 hit points of damage in a single attack to outright kill him.
And
All
we
right.
hit full 3 crits, and I was already low health. Potentially, I could outright die.
All right. So this is Anvara. Fisher, you have your first action of the fight.
Hey, look at that.
We did it!
Sweet. I am going to, shaking this off, fish my diamond out of my component pouch
Ooh.
and throw an chromatic orb of fire at the Umber Hulk.
All right.
That's cocked. That's gonna be a 7.
What was it gonna
Nope,
give us?
6.
You do 6 points of fire damage.
No, that's the attack roll.
Oh, yeah. No, that doesn't.
No, that was
No shit.
no. Sorry, it went the wrong.
You throw the chromatic orb, and the Umberhall just looks at it, straight by him, and looks at you.
I'll kind of shake my head, try and clear what was left of the confusion. Action surge, and shoot another one.
Go ahead.
Attempt number 2.
That is, that's a 16.
To hit,
Yeah.
it does not. You throw
Nice.
you throw the
Let's
spell, and you just see it bounce off his shoulder and hit the wall behind him.
Nuts. Okay, and then I will pull out the long sword and run up to F17.
Where's my?
Right up to the Umber Hulk.
Yeah. All right.
That was your mistake. After missing 2 attacks like that, that's where you pretend to still be enthralled.
It's like, oh no, what has happened?
Yeah.
All right. So we go back to the top of the initiative with everyone rolling a charisma saving throw.
All right.
Yay!
Let's go. Nope.
Oh god. Audience, no. Sam, no. Blow on your dice. I don't give a fuck. You did not.
I mean, no, I missed. I rolled a 7. I rolled very low.
I can't
beat
do
you.
this alone.
Thank
I got a 4.
13 on the die really is my lucky number. 15 bitches.
Remy, finish it off, because it's up to you.
Anvara, what did you roll?
Oh, I passed. I'm at 17, but fuck's sake, our fighter and our paladin's down. Fuck me backwards.
I think that would be uncomfortable.
Is the fucking tree alive now?
Oh, the
Trees
tree.
did nothing.
The tree actually succeeded his saving throw this time.
Thank you.
Hey.
Oh my god!
I was gonna be like, are we gonna have another full fight with the tree having been summoned and actually not doing a single thing?
It's like we even took the time to summon it before the fight instead of during.
Yeah.
All right. So. All right. Fisher and audience, roll a d8 for me, please.
Alright.
Let's go.
I rolled a 5.
6.
All right. This means you both walk into a random direction. So please roll another d8 for me to determine what direction you roll.
1.
3.
So audience, you rolled straight up.
Just gonna walk into the wall in front of me.
Yeah, that's about it. You just walk until you reach the wall.
You just
You're
Sim.
not gonna
That's
provoke
basically
an
just what you did.
opportunity attack. Like I am.
Fisher will provoke an opportunity attack because 3, it's 1, 2, and 3. You walk all the way back to the cart,
Elevator.
to the elevator cart, and you provoke an attack of opportunity as he leaves.
You guys look like you got this. See ya. I'm going.
Fisher,
I'm going.
Fisher, after he missed 2 attacks, is now running away in fear.
No, Fisher again. The world blurs and you just start walking away.
Luckily, Remy gets to go first for all of this, so maybe he can kill it.
And the attack of opportunity against Fisher. So it is a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. So when you get an attack of opportunity, do you have a choice between what? I'm gonna say that it attacks with the most devastating attack he has, because that makes sense. Which means it is a bite attack as you are trying to move away.
But Bite only has 60 base power.
All right, so it is. Yes, this is gonna taste good. Oh, goodness.
I mean, I guess if he was going to taste anything and like it, I guess it might as well be Warforged.
Yeah, because of the rock aspect, he's a tunneler, and he just tunnels a big chunk out of your hit points. You get hit for 17 hit points of slashing damage as you are walking away.
I'm fine. It's not even half my health.
Don't jinx it, please.
I mean, well, he's running away.
Dude, I'm walking away.
Yeah, he's out of the fight.
And could you see this? Audience no, because he's just walking in a straight line, hits a wall, and then just does nothing. But Anvara, are you in a position to see this? No, you're not. This is not a good angle for you. So you do not see this. But, hold on. Where is the...
3 more pop out of the ground, grab Fisher as he walks away, and drag him away.
Oh, no. No, actually, I have to look for...
It's just becoming Tremors 1, 2, and 3 in here. Right?
One after the other. Actually, there is someone who is not gonna let this happen as easily as this. But he has been keeping very quiet up until now, but since his creature is about to die, and because his initiative actually beats everyone's initiative, he is going to try.
Jeez.
And it's D8, not D6. All right.
That's a very impressive
It's all
initiative.
been the Hunter Gods. They're just all druids of the Hunter Gods. Everything's a Hunter God. What's real anymore?
Like, are you even a number Hulk?
They're all druids.
It's...
Imagine being able to skip a boss fight with the spellman.
Anvara, because you're right next to the creature, and because you're a cleric, you do recognize this effect. You suddenly see some of the wounds of the Umber Hulk healing themselves as if they had been healed by a cure wound. Not a huge amount.
Are going to get the fuck out of this mine.
Not by a huge amount, but enough for him to probably keep on fighting one other turn.
All right, what's the consensus? Do we keep fighting, or do I try to drag your asses out of the
Well,
mine?
actually, since we've just begun the round, it is Remy to decide what to do.
Dalton's killed it.
Oh, to be clear, who got healed?
The Umber Hulk received some sort of healing.
I mean, like, I guess, honestly, Remy probably wouldn't have even seen
Because of
that
how
effect from where
far
he
you
is.
are, because
Yeah.
of how far you are, I'd say it is a bit out of even your passive perception. Usually I go by 5 for every feet, so you'd be able to see almost 20 feet away. This is way out of your capability to perceive.
In which case, Remy is just going to continue what he does, because he doesn't see himself like getting out of this alive if this thing is still alive. Okay, please tell me at least an 18 hits.
It just hits.
Oh, thank Christ. Because I was starting to get worried about this thing's AC.
I mean, you should be worried. It's 18. 18 is pretty high.
Okay, so 9 normal damage, followed by... Okay, so 17.
17 total?
Piercing. 17 piercing.
All right. Well, the arrow sinks in again, and it damaged the beast a lot. Again, it almost falls to the ground, limping, stumbling a bit, but it is not quite dead.
Dang it! Why don't rogues get extra attack? No. I will not.
All right. Well, actually, if you used both hands, dual fighting, had daggers, you might, but not at this level. So, that's Remy. Audience
Audience goes for the tactical reposition into the wall.
Yeah.
A surprising move, but a classic one.
Unexpected.
If he's at the wall, the creature can't retreat to the wall.
Yeah. Anvara. Unfortunately, your turn doesn't come before the creature, and the creature is currently really pissed at you, so it turns around and it's gonna try and
Bye-bye.
hit you.
Well, if it hits me as hard as audience, I am kissing the fucking ground.
All right. So, first one is a 17.
Nope.
The second one is also a 17. Third attack is a 19.
Dang it!
Shit.
The third one hits.
Yep.
Is it the bite or the
Yeah,
claw?
third one's the
Third
bite.
one is the bite attack.
Oh,
No.
just the thing that almost killed the paladin. Sure. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you get hit with a. Well, it's not too much, It's 15 points of slashing damage. He takes a bite into you, just starts shinging you around. But since you're not dead, you manage to push his head away, and you're bleeding from everywhere.
The real question: which tastes the most tasty? A dragonborn, an elf, or a construct? Because he's now taking a bite of all three of us. Can we have a sample tasting in a ranked order from the Summer Hulk, please?
I'm gonna have to say
I-
definitely the Warforged is top just because it's a very familiar flavor.
Well, actually, I would say if we go in order, it rolled a 2 for audience, so it doesn't really like you.
Good.
Anvara, being the last one tasted, rolled a natural 1, really doesn't like elves.
Good.
And rolled an 18 for the Warforged. So yeah, it actually quite liked the taste of the Warforged. Subtle flavors, it's just mixing in his mouth. And,
There's a bunch of different stuff in there. You got
Yeah.
the wood, the stone, the metal,
yeah. Whole bunch of texture.
The
Were really interesting.
arcane shenanigans going on.
Giving it a slight taste, like spices. All right, so Anvara, what do you do?
I'm going to attack you with my longsword.
All right, as this creature, after biting you, just spits on the ground as if it didn't like what it just tasted.
I don't fuck that. I'm about to smack your shit up, Prit.
All right.
Oh, look.
So that's gonna be a D8. That's an 8 and 3. 11 plus 2. So he took 13 slashing.
All right. How do you want to finish the creature?
Come in from behind, Anvara.
Oh my god.
Biting
I'm
into
going
you with
to-
his claw, with his mouth still on you, you manage to take your sword and...
Yeah, as he retracts his mandibles, I just grab back onto it, shove it straight through.
Alright, you shove your sword straight through below his head and comes out at the top of his head. You see the creature falls to his knee and then just plops down on the ground, lifeless.
Oh, thank fuck.
Then
Alright.
Now what
suddenly...
the fuck was healing it?
Sorry?
Now what the fuck was healing it?
We don't know.
So, audience, you just regain your awareness of the situation. Fisher, you look around and you notice that you're leaking sap. You see Arunak just beside you and say, "Oh, come on, you just finished. You already finished the fight. We just started." Because he really just recovered from it, and his initiative was actually right after Anvara, so unfortunately
Randy
he
kinda-
just...
The tree did nothing.
Yo, for real, fuck Groot. I'm not wasting time on
Rainy runs over to audience. Is like, is he still on the ground or?
No, audience is
I'm fine.
actually his head really buried inside a wall, and when you wake up and you find yourself just staring at a wall.
Yeah, just like Raimi just starts like kind of like using his feathers to like dust you off.
I reach out my hand to the wall and I'm like, I'm so beautiful. No.
just like gotta clean him. Gotta dust him off.
I'll just whip back around, see the Umber Hulk on the ground, turn to Anvara and kind of give her a nod, like, good job. Good job.
Don't
You
worry.
finished.
Anah Nazir had other plans for you.
All right, so
Yell to Fisher. Fisher, get back here. We killed him.
Yeah,
you're almost all the way
Yeah.
back to...
well, I mean, why do you
elevator
think I was leaving? You guys kill good. Yeah.
Wanted
I'll
to
walk
try,
back.
trying to
And,
deceive us.
All right, so Anvara, you wanted to know what healed it. I'm gonna allow you to make a perception roll if you want.
Ooh, great.
I am going to use second wind.
Perception, that's going to be a
To
19 plus 5,
heal.
24.
24.
For 8.
I have a plus 5 in perception.
Yeah, I know. So you look in the cavern and you don't see anything there. With one exception, you see a small globe which has been smashed on the ground. It's still moving as if it had just been dropped. But you don't see what dropped it.
Does the orb resemble
Um,
our...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't resemble yours. Actually, it's something that already exists in the world, and as a priestess, you would probably have seen it. There is a way. It costs mostly gem to do, but you can crystallize a spell. And seeing of the influence of that, it was most likely a cure wound crystallized using this process. It's a bit of a costly process, but it's mainly used by priests because not a lot of priests actually have scrolls, but this method was developed to help priests crystallize spells so they could use it in a way that is very similar to a scroll. You just have to break the globe and it releases the spell.
Huh.
So there was someone healing the Umber Hulk.
Some asshole with healing grenades.
None of you actually had a good roll for what a Umber Hulk was. So if you want to try and deduce, I would let you roll an intelligence roll with disadvantage because none of you actually managed to know what a Umber Hulk was.
Well, Brady had an idea, but he didn't originally know what it looked like.
Yeah, but
he had to get an image shown to him.
the reason why I'm not letting you roll is that you're not close enough to see this globe, so you're missing a large part of the puzzle.
Okay, that part. I thought you were talking about just like the Umber Hulk as a whole.
Highest was 19, lowest was 7.
Lowered to 7?
Yeah.
All right. No. You see the orb. So someone made this spell which could be used. It says that the Umber Hulk was most likely either coerced or convinced to do these attacks, but that's it.
Are you going to mention the orb to any of us? Or
Yeah, I'm just looking at something. Yeah, no, I'm gonna point it out. Say, oh, what's this? Just like pick up the shattered remains. Someone was using this to heal it.
All right.
Okay.
Then
So
Now
there's
I'll-
something.
now I'll make the roll. 'Cause
Yeah,
now I actually
but
know about
for
it.
audience and Fisher, if you want to do a roll because you didn't know what a Humber Hulk was, it's going to be intelligence at disadvantage. Remy,
Oh,
if you
I know
want
the
to
answers.
roll because you knew what a Humber Hulk was, I'm gonna let you do a normal intelligence roll.
Oh my god, I'm actually rolled once
Oh,
good for
that's
intelligence.
not
but I'm not wrong.
bad. 15.
15.
A 19 on the first roll down to a solid 2 on the second. So 2.
So you see audience go, oh, an orb. You've seen this before because on the boat someone used one, so you know what the orb is. Oh yes, an orb. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Did you mean straight intelligence,
someone already
or-
broke it.
Did you say straight intelligence or would it be history?
no, that would be
Hold up. If it's history,
would it be? Yeah, it could be something that could appear in history records. So, all right, I'm gonna allow you to make history. Anvara, if you have proficiency with history, I can let you add the your history
Oh.
proficiency to roll that you made.
oh,
With
oh,
history,
right.
it's a 19.
makes it a.
That
Yeah.
makes it.
With history, mine's a 17.
All right, so 17, Remy
19.
19, Anvara still the same roll.
9.
9? All right, no. For you, Anvara, nothing new. Fisher and Remy. Remy, because of your role, you start remembering stories that you've heard, and you've actually heard that some creatures living in the Underdark sometime will find ways to hire Umber Hulk to attack specific targets. Fisher, you would also remember this with a 17, but not because of things you've heard, but because you remember hearing that Umber Hulk lives inside the Underdark most of the time. And you remember reading something about Deshari elves, which in this world are dark elves, using Umber Hulk to attack specific targets. Remy, I'd say with the role that you just had, the one thing that would pop up in your mind, and also because you're a rogue, usually Umber Hulk are paid for this. So there might actually be loot somewhere. Depending on if he was carrying it with himself or if he left it somewhere. But if it's a hired hit, there is some sort of payment somewhere.
Raimi is going to minor illusion a pile of gold and jewels in front of him and point to the Umbral Hulk.
I was going to say, yes, we completed our quest. We will get a reward.
Raimi smacks his
I am
forehead.
going to, I guess, investigate the Umber Hulk.
Well, we gotta bring its hide back.
It is a large creature, so yeah, you might need quite a bit of time to skin it.
Well, I was gonna just because.
Just investigate the body, see if there's anything.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Wait.
think it's swallowed.
Possibly see how one would go about skinning it later. But
Wait, Anvara, you did say I think someone healed the Umber Hulk, right? You said that out loud?
Yeah, well, I mentioned that the thing I was using, the orb that I was holding was used
Okay,
more
okay.
commonly for healing.
Then, well,
And it was used by more religiously inclined casters.
okay. Then, while Fisher started investigating the Umber Hulk, because that would probably take a little bit of time, audience would go into the room where the Umber Hulk came out of and kind of start looking around to see if anyone was like hiding in there
Make a
or
perception
where
roll.
they might have been.
To find this loot, would I need to make a perception or investigation?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you're entering the corridor, the passageway that the Umber Hulk made, it would be perception. If you are trying to help Fisher investigate the body, that would be investigation.
I'll do a perception, and since I think they both have that part covered,
Okay.
if it happens to be on that body.
All right. So Fisher, investigation. What did you roll?
Oh, hello. 24.
24. All right. Remy and audience, I believe you both made perception roll inside the corridor behind it, but for different reasons.
Yes.
So audience, perception roll.
Audience forgot that he doesn't have a dark vision and rolled a 3.
And Remy.
I mean,
Holiday.
Randy would have been the smarter person and lit his lamp before doing this and got a soft 20.
So you see audience just walk in front of you and disappear inside the dark, and then you hear his voice coming from far away. I can't see a thing.
A voice calls from Remy, "You're lucky you're pretty."
Yeah. So Remy, with a 20 perception. With a 20 perception, you look around, you don't find anything that would suggest that the loot is there. However, you do find very soft, elven in their make, footprints leaving the Umber Hulk, going into the darkness.
Oh boy.
You only find one set of footprints.
A singular set of singular set as in like 1, 2, or like a trail.
No, I mean the distance is that of someone moving hastily, but you only find footprints for one person.
Oh, okay. That's it would have been weirder. That's why I asked.
Okay.
So, Ramy will call out, "I smell a rat."
So, audience, you have a strange mixture of things. You go into the darkness and you look around and you realize that you can't see. And when you say something, you hear Remy say, "It's a good thing you're pretty." And then a few moments later, you hear, "There is a rat."
Audience will light the torch to look for the rat that he thinks must be near him.
I'm gonna...
Logical.
Yeah. I'm gonna allow you to make another perception roll because you believe you know what you are actually looking for.
This time I lit a torch though, so I could see.
Yeah.
Which helped because I rolled a nat 20.
Whoa!
I could see.
He looks around and the first thing that pops up in your mind is, I can't find a rat, but I see footprints. They're very soft footprints. It's very similar to that of Anvara. Leading off deep inside this small hallway, 5 feet wide, that you've been following, that the Umber Hulk apparently just emerged out of.
All right.
Maybe just keeps repeating, I smell a rat, I smell a rat, I smell a rat.
Audience will say, well, I don't see a rat, but there are footprints here. There must have... I think I found the footprints of whoever healed the Umber Hulk.
Slaps his forehead. But then shrugs, because at least you got the message.
Didn't get it the way he wanted to, but he got it anyway. Fisher, your investigation of the Umber Hulk's body doesn't give you any insight on what is on any pouch he might have or things that he could actually be carrying. But during the fight, you do remember Audience sinking a good slash inside the stomach of the beast. And as you're watching the wounds, you find something glittering, which would be coming out of the stomach of the beast. As
I'm just gonna...
you widen a bit the stomach, and the stomach juice just spills out and fills the place with this warm, disgusting, dissolving feeling. There's a bit of blood mixed into it, and probably ate a dwarf not so long ago, because there is bones and things like that just spills out. And you find a small pouch which has been ruptured. It was made out of a leather, very tough leather, and inside of it there's a bunch of gems.
Noise.
So you do not know what kind of gems they are, but inside the pouch you find a total of 6 gems. So most likely the Umber Hulk ate the pouch. Either it was on a dwarf, or it was his way of carrying his payment. You don't know.
Zoidberg is...
I will attempt to wipe clean the gems. And then go, hey, Raimi, I think I found something you might like.
An illusioned question mark appears as he as he walks over. It's like, sees the gems, and you just see his eyes light up.
And the
like
question marks becomes an exclamation mark.
And now he's just completely distracted, staring at these, just like clapping.
Mm-hmm.
Audience, what do you do with the footprints that you found?
I mean, I'll hold up my torch and see how far, like, I think this passage might go. Like, see if I can see the end of it.
No, you can't. You can't see the end of it. It seems to be going on and on and on. Most likely, the Umber Hulk dug holes and corridors everywhere, as the dwarf did say that the attack occurred all throughout the hall of this shaft. So you get the feeling that you'd probably emerge at different location inside the hallway of this place.
All right. Well, kind of remember some of the information. I'm not going to try and follow the footprints now. I'm going to go back to the rest of the group.
All right.
So back to...
So, Anvara, what did you do while Audience and Raimi were hunting for rats and footprints, and Fisher was gutting the creature, finding a pouch among the disgusting liquid pouring out of this beast's stomach?
I'm just gonna have the mission at hand in mind and try to figure out how to get the hide off this thing without wrecking.
All right. I mostly got what you said. I think your microphone is slipping too far away.
I'm gonna still be checking out the body. I'm
All
just gonna see if I can find a way to rip the hide off without wreck. Not rip it, but you know it.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just like an insect. It's an exoskeleton, so you'd have to use a most likely some sort of knife or a sword. Short sword would do the trick. To just remove the scales. It's basically skinning a creature.
Anyone got a knife? My knife's a little too big for this.
I've got a hand axe.
I got a fucking spear and a long sword. I can't really do that with this.
Rami just looks at you all like this very strange look and pulls out a dagger.
Ah, there we go.
That'll do. Alright, anyone got... would that be animal handling or survival? Skin it. Or nature.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably nature.
Ooh, great.
I'd be okay at that.
You got a positive intelligence modifier?
Yeah.
Alright. I'll assist, though.
I gave this thing a good investigate first, so
You can see where the scales can basically you could stick in a knife and start slowly. So the process is gonna be slow. It's a large creature, and you're going to get out more scales that you can actually carry at a single time. So what exactly are you going to carve out? It's basically a 8 or 9 feet tall creature, built like a wall. So there's a lot of it you can remove.
Okay, well, I'm gonna drop the 4 sacks I bought before we left on the ground.
What do you do with the gems before you start doing this?
I would have traded them to you for the dagger as I go to start.
So now Raimi has gone over to like a corner in the hallway and is just admiring these gems.
Oh. Ooh. All right.
So each sack can hold a cubic foot and or 30 pounds.
All right.
Is it just like scales? Is there like
so just like a creature
plates?
that has just
kind of like a breastplate kind of thing?
Yeah, just like a creature that has an exoskeleton. There are pieces of this armor which are just one large. Think about it. Think about it like this. It's sort of like trying to remove the armor of a lobster.
In case it's like chitin, basically.
So yes,
right.
On the belly, because there's a lot of moving parts, there's probably going to be a lot of smaller parts, but there are some large parts, like on the back, on its arms, also on its legs. And you saw the devastating effect of his claw, so...
Well...
As you're looking at this, you can't help but to notice that this creature has 2 pairs of eyes. 2 large one and 2 small one just above them. Black, beady eyes.
That's weird. I don't know. That's what was...
I'd say you can make a straight up intelligence roll.
10.
I'd say no.
Okay.
You missed so
Um,
much of the fight that you're not realizing that whenever you were looking at its face, you just zoned out.
Remembering that the guy was wanting to make some sort of breastplate type armor out of this, and having proficiency in smith's tools, so I would know how to make something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I will start with whatever pieces I think I could. If I were going to make something like that,
All right.
what I would start with.
All right, so most likely the back would make a very interesting single big piece. Wouldn't fit inside your bag, but you'd be able to haul it around. Probably in the bags that you have, you would be able to place the arms, the scales on the arms, and on the legs.
Okay. Then I'll start with the big piece, and then move on to the
All right, so
small.
Fisher has a good, I'd say, hour of skinning the creature. Meanwhile, Anvara, Audience, and Raimi. And Orunak, he is there. A bit frustrated that again you called him, but you really didn't need any help. The fight started and you finished it. So, you are among your four watching Fisher just carve out pieces of this creature. And also,
Do I need to
Audience.
make a roll for this?
I'd say yes. To see
Okay.
how pristine are the pieces that you can remove.
Earlier, I'd mentioned that I would try to assist him.
All right. Then in that case, Fisher, I can let you roll with advantage.
Okay. What am I rolling? Was it nature?
Yeah, nature or animal. I'd say both can. No, not animal handling. So nature, yeah.
Okay. Nature is a 16.
All right.
That's your highest?
Yeah, I rolled a 13 and a 4, so
Okay. Fair enough.
16.
All right. You'll manage to retrieve interesting pieces. Fortunately, you do realize that one of the leg you just completely butchered that, and so you find yourself with 2 arms part and 1 leg part. But the second leg, you're pretty sure there's nothing much that you can do with this. So Audience and Raimi, someone is breathing inside his microphone right now.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
It's not me.
All right.
No, it's
Hey!
me. I moved my mic closer so you could hear me, but that's what
Alright.
I'm saying.
So, Audience and Remy and Orunak, what are you doing while Anvara and Fisher are playing with amber hull guts and chunks of meat?
Well, Audience will probably stay next to them and talk to them. Well, he'll tell them while they work about. So let's see. He'd say, "So I found some footprints leading back into the dark. They seem to be elven-like, as I'll point to. They seem to be similar to yours. I believe that there was another creature who was at least in league with this monster. That was not of the same type. So we might want to look into that, as I would not feel that although we've completed our mission for the garden, I'd feel bad about leaving a potential threat still in the mines."
Raimi creates a minor illusion of the kind of like a miniaturized version of the quest board all the way back in the garden.
Let's see, Audience will say, "You're right, Raimi. We should contact the garden and mention it to them. They might have some insight on it."
These orbs.
The one that you used to communicate, or the one that was shattered inside the corridor?
Our garden orbs.
All right.
Would we be able to use them to send the Umber Hulk armor back?
You'd have to ask. You don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Like,
yeah. Then in that case, I'm working on the skinning stuff.
yeah, like mostly during this process, like occasionally Raimi's eyes would wander around to like this dark cavern, but he'd shake a little bit and then look back at the gems, and like you'd see get a bit more relaxed. He just like continues like playing around with them, filling them in his talons.
All right. So as you're playing with these gems, when you suddenly start feeling a bit more anxious, you'd see Arunak once every so often just arrive and come on, look at the gems, Remy. And just as you look at them, he uses streetcraft and create a little sparkle of lights around the gems, just so that you are even more enthralled with them and pay less attention to the darkness all around you.
Aw.
Raimi's eyes just sparkle that much brighter.
Audience would quietly mutter to himself, "At least you have some use," but not loud enough for him.
Oh snap!
So you said I will eventually get 2 arms and 1 leg.
Yeah, and the back piece.
What about the back?
The back piece isn't too hard to not butcher. It's a very large, very sturdy piece. But like I said, it's not going to fit in any bag. You're going to have to haul it around or buy something that's big enough to carry it. Everything else is small pieces. You look at some and you could think that, oh, maybe he'd like to make bracers. I don't know. But the biggest piece that feels like very good to make breastplate armor are those 4-piece that you're going to have.
Okay. Well then, I will put what I can into the sacks.
All right.
And then
Actually, considering Raimi's proclivities, would he possibly be able to identify these gems?
I'd say you could make an investigation roll. You don't have proficiency with jewelry kit, do you?
Obviously no, but just
Right.
just because like it seems like something that he would have at least been interested in.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be able necessarily to tell how much they're worth exactly.
Not that part, no.
But you'd have a general feeling of what sort of quality is this? Is it basic quality, higher quality gems, precious gems? Probably. Make a roll.
Oh, sorry. I was like listening for more just in case.
No, that's all right.
That'll be 14.
14. Well, you're able to identify that they're cut gems. They're of lower qualities, so most likely each gem between maybe 5 and 15 gold. You're not sure exactly. But they're well-cut gems. They're just not rare.
Mm-hmm.
But
they shine all the same to him. But
yeah. All right. So as Fisher is finishing to skin the beast, what do you decide? Do you leave things as they are right now? Try to reach the garden, or just put all of this aside and try and hunt for whatever was trying to maintain the Umber Hulk alive?
I think we'd first want to talk to the garden.
All right.
Take out the orb.
Well,
I assume it's yellow since we're underground.
right now, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They'll kind of, well, one person will, or maybe two people will hear an elf. Oh, what's the matter, Noir? Afraid of the dark?
Well,
You-
do we want to?
You hear Olunak respond to this. I believe that they say it is unhealthy to speak from about yourself as a third person. No?
Well, yeah, that's a curse of repeating things people have said to you, I guess.
Hmm.
From this day forward, you are Raimi.
Oh, I guess it makes sense.
So, do we want to haul this stuff up, get outside, be able to talk to the garden first?
I believe we should also probably let the dwarves know about their intruder in their halls, just to make sure they're careful. So we should probably speak with the foreman as well.
Sounds like a good idea. I am going to... Could I try and use... So I have 50 feet of silk and 50 feet of hempen rope. Can I try and use that to whip up some sort of... For the back plate? Be able to drag it easier, or maybe hoist it up over a shoulder, or between audience and me, or something.
Well,
Yeah.
if we take... Well, the thing is, the bedroll can be doubled as a stretcher. So we can make like a makeshift sled with it.
Uh-huh.
The thing is that right now you don't have a lot of material to do anything with it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, if you find something, you could probably whip up something. With that much rope, you would be able to do a makeshift stretcher if you could only find 2 long pieces of wood.
What about shields?
Although, quick question.
Yeah.
What was the condition of the... Because I believe you identified a wagon or a barrel of some sort that was toppled over. What was the condition of that?
Wasn't that at the entrance of the mine?
Yeah.
Like somewhere
Yeah.
at the entrance? What was the overall condition of that?
It's a
Oh, to
mining.
go like get it and bring it down.
It's a mining cart, so it's pretty sturdy. It's a dwarven mining cart. It's pretty sturdy, made out of metal, a bit heavy. It's meant to be hauled around on rails. So
Yeah, so Raimi just kind of like minor illusions the cart in front of you all while you're trying to discuss what to do about the stuff you found.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we can just throw it all in the cart.
Is there a cart down here too?
make a perception roll.
Or
I hope there
some
is. I
way
don't know how we're
that
getting
they
back
would
up.
move? Yeah.
Well, there's the
There's-
elevator cart, which is larger than the normal cart, but it's not meant to be moved outside of this elevator mechanism.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm just thinking something we could drag it onto to take it up. That's going to be a 10.
Right now, around you, you don't see anything. You have the impression that when the dwarf believed that they couldn't exploit this hallway, they abandoned it, but they took everything that they needed to, with the exception of a few lights that they they left behind, just to be able to keep on surveying the hallway. So you don't see much of anything, with the exception of a few rocks broken loose, which after seeing the Umber Hulk burst out of the wall, you can easily deduce that, oh, alright, they're all of the bits and pieces of rock that the Umber Hulk most likely pushed in the way as it was burrowing through the walls.
Audience will turn to Fisher and will be like, if you grab the rest of it, I can probably just carry the back plate on my own.
Sure, go for it. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'll like tie the rope like around it, so he has like something to pull on other than having to just hold the.
Oh,
plate
Audience was
by
just
the
going to
plate.
try and pick it up and just balance it on top of his head while he held it.
Yes,
That is
I'm
Dragonborn
aware.
to do. So, audience, you can make a strength check.
Alright. That is a 16.
16. Well, it's not that obvious to do. The shape is a bit not too pleasant. Odd shape. But yeah, you can manage to pick it up and try to shoulder it. Has a weird feel to it, but
Alright, I was going to say a little awkward, but I got it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll pick up the rest of it. And I guess head back to the elevator.
Oh yeah, and by the way, right now, as you're all making your way back to the elevator, you just skinned the creature you just killed. So the air is probably thick with the smell of blood and coagulating liquid. So
kinds
it's
of cremated.
probably very
Okay, gotcha.
slippery and also disgusting.
Don't worry, guys, just try and burn it again. Actually, would my character say that? Potentially. I'll turn to Otmar. I'll be like, do you want to burn it again? Is that part of your rituals?
I feel like doing it out of spite. But no, Alvara's just gonna say, no, he doesn't. It's fine.
Rami didn't hear any of this because he is already sitting in the elevator cart waiting for you guys.
But you know, audience, you're used to eating big chunks of meat coming from creature you've hunted. There is something appealing to this huge chunk of meat right beside you, you know. Just saying.
Oh wait, didn't I tell someone that I would try it? I told the Dragonborn.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
I mean, and that's like your word, man.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I guess before we left, I set down the plate for a second and asked for the knife audience was using. I mean, okay. Fisher was.
I'd hand it over.
All right, I'd cut off a slab of the most tender-looking meat, and I'd slap it in my pouch. I'm gonna be like, to try later.
So you
Want me to cook
just
that for you?
Smells so bad.
you just see audience tear out a piece of meat the size of a basketball, look at it, and yeah, just shove it in whatever you can, and gonna eat it later. So you're all making your way out as this huge piece of Umber Hulk tenderloin, I don't know, something like that, just drips blood in the corridor. And you all make your way back to the elevator cart, and easily, nothing else attacks you while you're there. Onak follows you, looking at audience suspiciously. Alright, well, we are 20 minutes past this. We could end this here with the party embarking this and the elevator cart slowly making its way up.
Seems like a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have all survived some of you have taken more damage than they have been used to. But then again, half of the group was completely useless. So
I mean, I was actually the tank for once because I was like the only one for the majority of that fight taking all the hits.
I knew I should have sent 2.
Ah.
That might have wrecked us.
Also, yeah.
Well, don't worry. Knowing audience, he's gonna learn that there's like potentially dark elves, and I'm gonna be starting a level 3 adventure into the Underdark pretty soon with this party.
Let's go with one
just for real,
person
though.
in our party with dark vision.
Just for real though, just audience, just like really, just you standing there just automatically made you MVP.
Yeah.
Because for 3 rounds you were the only person within 5 feet of this creature.
because of you, Remy was able to sneak attack the creature, and you were tanking all the damage
Yep.
and doing most of the damage also, because with every attack you did just a little bit more damage than Remy.
I got off my. To be fair, it was fine. Once I went down, it was fine. I'd already used all my burst attacks.
You know, it's hard.
Use my 3 divine smites.
It's hard to compete with 20 plus damage divine smites.
At level 3.
It's supposed to be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not.
All right. Well, this is going to be it for tonight. And for all of you who watched this all the way, I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed this. We all hope to see you again next Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, you can always support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. It would actually be very pleasant if you did, because it's really the only way we have to know that you're actually watching. So it's always fun for this. I don't know if anyone made any comments in the chat during the stream.
Just my DM from my other campaign that showed up to comment on how my character's bitch. Now they're not surprised.
All right. So like I said, you can always support us by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation or becoming a patron. And, of course, spreading the news of this channel, because the more there are, the more fun it's going to be talking in the chat and sharing your opinion of what is going on, because it's not so fun talking to yourself in the chat about that good joke or this awesome hit that someone just pulled. But I know if this is your thing, I'm not saying that it's bad to do, you know. So, be safe.
Making every speech and debate child just feel severely self-conscious right now. I hope you know this.
Well, I'm not saying that I was any different. It's just that I didn't actually write it. I was too shy to actually do this. I'm not only introverted, but I've always been extremely shy. I know it doesn't show it like this, but it's because I'm talking to a camera most of the time. So it's easy for me to just focus on that. But I'm actually someone that is more of a listener. So even if you're talking alone in the chat, you're doing more than I would probably have done. So see you all. Till next Wednesday. Stay safe, and because of the present time, even more important, stay healthy. See you all next Wednesday. Bye.
See you
Ciao,
all.
night.
See ya.